think it's about 7:32. Thanks for coming, Chris. We'll look forward to seeing you another time. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Marion and I drank the Kool-Aid, not a cup at a time, but gallons at a time at the Kaufman Foundation. And we were there for, what, less than 48 hours. Yeah. It was fast-paced, it was jam-packed, and it was awesome and impressive. We won't spend a lot of time talking about that now. We'll share that with you in different ways over the weeks to come. But we learned a lot of things, and we think it's going to help us make 1 Million Cups an even better program. 1 Million Cups, we have some folks who are new, I think, for the first time here, don't we? Let me see hands. Okay. Welcome. Glad to see you all here today. And 1 Million Cups is an educational program primarily. It is entrepreneurs teaching and helping and learning from each other. And there are other side benefits that come from that. You know, we get to know each other and all the good things that come from that. But education and sharing lessons learned is really what it's about. It's you have an entrepreneur has 6 minutes to present, and then followed by 20 minutes of Q&A. And the whole idea is not a sales pitch, but is to talk about challenges and successes and lessons learned. So with that, I'll bring up Marion Miller to introduce our first presenter.
First, let me ask, who all has followed us on Facebook? All right, what about Twitter? Who hasn't presented and needs to present? Yes, I like you already. All right, one of the things we're having is Welcome 1 Million Cups. Is we're looking for small businesses or independent businesses or growing businesses to present. So if you know of anybody, please reach out and get in touch with them, get in touch with us. We can get those really great businesses here on tap here at 1 Million Cups. One of these businesses, basically, that's going to teach us how to win as well, is Train to Win Sports. This is going to be Bobby Sandidge. He's going to show us a lot about what we can and can't do and how we can get in shape properly and how we can have a good, strong mind and a strong body. You're welcome.
My name's Bobby Sandidge. Just to give you guys a kind of brief about me, I'm from Madisonville. Grew up here. Played sports growing up here, both ends of the county. Played at Madisonville for 3 years in baseball, and then when schools merged, played at Central for 3 years. So kind of got both ends of the spectrum there. From there, on the coaching side, coached at both ends of the county. Coached a year at Central, and then back to Madisonville for 2, and then in that process, received an elementary education degree. And the same year that I received that degree, I took the head coaching position at Madisonville baseball. And so, needless to say, that was a challenging year. I was doing the K-TIP portfolio. I was teaching 4th grade Kentucky history. I was teaching 5th grade social studies, and I was taking over a baseball program that had been very successful. So, I learned a lot that year as far as facing adversity, dealing with parents, both sides, and the coaching side and the elementary side. But I feel like it's kind of prepared me for this because now I'm working. Excuse me. Now I'm going to be working with kids, educating kids on the athletic side. So I feel like I'm somewhat prepared for this. In the process of that, I coached only 1 season, and in that process, my wife puts up with me daily. Brandy Sandidge, she's a elementary, she's a teacher also. We had 2 boys. Found out we were going to have a little girl, and I started putting pen to paper, and numbers wasn't coming up for a education or a elementary education and a coach. to provide. So my dad, Bob Sandidge, he runs a mine contracting business. He's been a coal miner for 40 years. And I reached out to him, stepped off into the mines, and started there, and basically worked my way into a management position. And in the process, created the idea to do this. I knew I didn't want to be a coal miner the rest of my life. I tip my cap to the guys that do it every single day. It's hard work, and I feel like it was another lesson to get me going. But I'll get on into this. Train to Win Sports is an indoor training facility that is going to provide kids a place to come and learn how to be athletes. And in the process, these are big rubber bands, and that's going to be my system. If you think of an explosion, I think of a rubber band. You pull it back, if you let it go, it's going to take off on you. Now, you take the fastest athletes, you're not going to get the most efficient out of it unless you can decelerate and control yourself. And the rubber band system is going to be a way for me to do that. I'm also going to have cage rentals. I have a cage system that's on sliding, like a zip line, so to say. And you'll be able to come in and rent space on a batting cage. You can rent and sell it by the package if you're interested in that. Also, with the baseball side, I'm going to offer baseball instruction. I will also have team rentals. I've spoke with several teams around the counties to come in and basically just rent the facility out for an hour and a half. They come in, they take the facility, and coaches are able to have a place to train their guys. So the last thing is birthday parties. This just gives kids something else to do. And I'm going to try to kind of mold to what the parents want, so to say. If you have kids that love soccer, I'll set some soccer goals out, let them go in there and play. If they want to throw balls at each other, dodgeball, we'll do dodgeball. If they want to do wiffle ball, we'll do wiffle ball. But basically, it's going to be just a place to provide a service to kids, to have something to do. I've had even as simple as snow days, doing dodgeball days for kids. Get them out of the house, get them off the video games. And there is a TV in there, and I have a Wii, which yes, it is a video game, but at least the kids can be up and doing something rather than sitting down. So that's kind of that in a nutshell. I could get as deep into these as I wanted. I've got a mentor, Dave Schmitz. He's the band man. He's out of Michigan, and I kind of reached out to him, and he responded. And this guy, I can call him or give him an email and get a return in 3 hours. I mean, he's great. I mean, he's got a big following. He basically started the program back in '05. And if you search resistancebandtraining.com, it's also going to be, you're going to find a ton of things. And quickly, I have a guy that's going to be working out of my facility. His name's Chad Cunningham. He's a great guy. He does a speed and agility program. It's more like agility ladders, agility poles, hurdles, a lot of footwork, a lot of strength training. And he's also going to be providing the service out of my facility. So that's it.
Great. Time for questions.
Are you up and running yet?
October the 6th. I'm doing some stuff out of there right now, but not officially.
Did you do an analysis of the needs in the community before you did it, whether or not it would be equitable, what kind of equipment needed in it, and how many students you'll need to have in there on a monthly basis to?
I did a 3-year program. Sarah helped me out on that, and I appreciate the help there. As far as giving me a guideline of a business plan and what I needed to do to write out. I did have to make that presentation to the bank. And I did a lot of talking, being a coach, I coach out at the YEA, being around everybody. I was always talking and hearing people, we go to Evansville, we go to Bowling Green, or we go to Hopkinsville, or we go to Evansville. I don't know if I said that already, but so I felt like I had the knowledge and the work ethic to, if I could put it together, that people would come. And so
my kids are, well, I know this, my kids are 21 and 23, but when they were in school, my daughter was in every single sport there was, and my son was in he was in music and theater and things, and that was, you always got, my daughter was a pitcher, so she had pitching lessons.
Sure.
So she could be the best pitcher possible. My son had voice training the whole time. And that's a really, for the parents who want their kids to excel and, learn the right way and be the best they can, that's a very important thing. People are probably going other places to get all those lessons. How do you plan to get this word out into the community that they're here, and how can we help you get it out there?
Flyers, I've got those, and I feel like that, Facebook, a web page, if there's anybody that does web pages, that would be great, getting going, because I don't feel like you can ever, or for me, maybe not, I can never be absolutely ready. It's almost like, this is going to sound funny, but you're never ready to have a baby. It never is a good time.
You wait.
So at some point you got to say, you know what, I'm going, and nothing's going to be perfect along the way. That is something I need to get. The front desk is always, that's kind of another thing right now. I'm going to kind of train my niece and get her just basically to be able to present what I have available, and I'm still working on getting other people involved. At the same time, I'm trying to watch my overhead, kind of bartering a little bit, and with my niece, I'm able to provide her the training she needs, and in return, she's helping me. And so that's another avenue that I'm kind of still searching and working the kinks out. And the ad itself, I feel like I confuse people a little bit. I don't know if you look at the ad. I had a good friend that I've been talking to, and she's been wanting the service, and she's been asking me, I need a flyer, give me a flyer, give me some information. And so I gave her the information, and she called Chad Cunningham, which is not a big issue, but the way she understood the ad was call him for an appointment to set it up through me. And so I don't know if that's going to confuse people. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that come off that way? Does that come off as? And so I feel like it's not that I don't want to take business away from him, but I would like the phone calls to come through Train to Win Sports, to where I can then push business if Chad is who they want, then I can direct them to him.
Bobby, are you going to have a number at the business, or are you going to do it all through yourself?
I am, but for now, I'm just going to.
Then I would move the call for an appointment over to you.
Right.
And make that switch, and
Is that?
that would probably, yeah.
I noticed it just happened yesterday. I thought, well, that'll be a good thing to throw out to you guys and say, hey, I messed up.
I think that's good advice, Bobby. Early on, obviously, you haven't actually thrown the doors open yet. So far, what's been your biggest challenge, the most difficult thing in getting to where you are today with this?
The balance of, I'm still working for my dad. I'm still hiring and placing people in the mines. I've got 3 kids. I have a wife, and I have this. And so every day I wake up to get through today. And whatever I can get done today is great, and whatever I don't get done today, then I'll leave it up upstairs and get up tomorrow and do it again. So that's the biggest challenge, is balancing. Making sure that my family's okay, making sure that my dad's business is, the responsibilities there are still happening, and then getting this thing off the ground. So.
This is probably a terrible question, given the comment, but what are your plans for expansion? Because everybody has a dream of how well it goes really great when they're going to do next, how they're going to expand it. And is this just for youth, or is this for young adults, or for old people as well, like yourself?
No, I would like to get into the fitness side for adults. The core basis of this training is, of the resistance band training, is all hips, trunk, spinal cord. It's all the things that very word that always comes up is balance. And an athlete has to be balanced. And you can give that to older people as well that are down on their hips. You know, what happens when people get older, their hips, their core gets weak, their hips get weak, they fall, and then they're out of commission. And I truly believe this is a system that every exercise, Dave Smith, this guy that I'm working under, is a physical therapist. So he's dove into the medical side and provided the same service to adults, but then also going ahead and strengthening the kids and getting them already involved in the routine of being healthy and being fit. Expansion-wise, I want this thing to be as big as it could be. And I don't have all the answers. I don't have it figured out. And so moving forward, the chamber has been great, getting me off the ground and getting me started. Rick Whitledge has been great. I've been working close with Rick. He's always got an opinion, or a good opinion, in a way to give you an opinion without saying you're doing this wrong. You know what I mean? And so.
Bobby, I think you had a question over there from Kelly.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering about the cost, like, does it cost like a monthly fee for these children, or is it affordable for families?
I'm gonna start with, you can buy just an individual class of anything. That's not the most cost efficient way to do it. I'm gonna sell 3 different packages on each of the services. And like, for example, the first package, you're basically going to get 1 session for free. You buy the second package, you get 2 sessions for free. The third package, you're going to get 3 sessions for free. So I feel like it's affordable. I've done research to the other training facilities, and parents, to me, if parents will drive to Evansville, pay for a $30 baseball instruction class, and then go out to eat and then pay for their gas, surely I can pull enough people in the community instead of driving and taking our business out of here and start building a feeder program. I think if people can buy that, I think the sky's the limit for this community and for the athletic programs. Hopkins County, to me, has always, growing up here, has always had good athletes, and we've always been right there. And I feel like it's the lack of the feeder system and the lack of somebody taking control of the youth and putting together a system and a program that's gonna get these kids ready. I know as a head coach, I felt like I was covering material and things that I didn't feel like a high school coach should be covering. Does that make sense? I was working on fundamental drills when I should have been teaching these kids game planning and things like that. So, sorry, I kind of ramble.
Do you see this as seasonal, like you're coming out of fall baseball and you're opening in October, so you're going into a hard winter, right? And then spring training, back in February, March, and that'll take you through like a February to October.
Correct.
But then you got your November, December, those 3 hard months. So
The good part about this program is, or just for the resistance band training, is there's always an off season for an athlete. whether that's basketball, football, or baseball. And so I feel like I can survive that with always having teams and series. And so that's kind of how I'm shooting on that.
Two questions. One, you said you're gonna have a package, and one, you get one free. So what is the cost? Do you know the cost of these packages yet?
I do.
And then the other question is, you mentioned the gentleman over the band resistance is a physical therapist. Is he actually tied with, you know, if I send my child there or I come there, are you gonna be showing me things that is not gonna be hurtful? I mean, a licensed physical therapist, are they gonna be available to help you in some of this training? Or do you have that type of training?
The prices, yes, I have all the packages. Rick's got that at American Print now. I don't have everything off the top of my head. On the other side of the training, I don't have a physical therapy degree or anything. He is not going to be there watching. However, I've been in sports long enough and I understand the concepts well enough to confidently look a parent in the eyes and tell them that I know how to take care of the kids and understand the starting, for example. You don't just throw kids out on these rubber bands because you'll hurt them. You do the exercises without the bands and get kids in position and get their bodies in position to understand what the bands are going to feel like. And even with that, as a head coach, I was the strength coach. You know, I had a group of kids and trained them for 5 years. So I kind of understand the concepts and how I need to push the kids safely.
I have a couple of questions too. First of all, with the bands, I'm excited about that because as a massage therapist, I have different tools that I send home with people. I use the foam rollers, and I always send them to Walmart to buy a foam roller because you can pretty much, you know, make any part of your body feel better with that if you know how to use it. Are you going to sell the bands?
Absolutely.
Will they be available so I can have a band and say you can go down here and get one of these? And okay, that's awesome.
And what it is what I would like to be able to do, and what the program offers is basically he wants you to. I'm the teacher, and it's just no more than you all being students come to class. You come to class, you learn the exercises. And nobody, that's the biggest thing, nobody wants to go to a gym. A lot of people, lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence, would rather work out at home. You can take this, shut it in the door, and a lot of the exercises he does, and now you can hook a band up at any level, at any angle, and do any type of exercise you want in this much space. So it teaches, you know, the concept would be to sell the bands, and I am working on being an affiliate under him to have the classes, have the adult classes, let people take the classes, learn a little bit of the system, and then take that home with them. And so they can do their exercise whenever they want to.
Okay, one last question.
Have you ever thought about maybe some type of partnership with the school system?
I have. I've thought about that, and I think in the future, I think for this thing to be that big, I think it would be a great thing for the school system to come together and us come together and make it to where all the teams would be available to come to the facility. And hopefully I'm a lot bigger by then. Hopefully, you know, I have all the amenities and the cool locker rooms and, you know, kind of on the rocky side right now, training, so.
All right. Bobby, thank you very much.